Hello friends, welcome to this interactive session where we are talking about starting preparation for civil service examination 2022. And when we are talking about 22 examination, we have got things very clear in front of us. We have prelims in June, 5th of June the date is, and September, mid-September we'll have main examination. I have with me Saroj sir. Please sir.
Thank you, sir, for inviting me to talk to our viewers to share the experience of how to prepare for the civil services examination. We have always been talking how to start the preparation,
Sir,
what
we
to
should
do.
welcome Deepak sir also.
Yeah,
He's there.
Mr. Deepak, please come. He is our mentor for
Morning, friends.
Indian
How are you?
society, social issues, and other related things. So, what we decided, everybody talks about the preliminary examination preparation, preliminary stage of the preparation. It's the time for men's examination. And in our mind, one thing was going on very clearly. There are certain sections which are called dwarf in nature, but the impact is too huge. For example, let's start from the paper one, like Indian society and social issues. Score very heavy marks in that particular section, but resultantly what we are witnessing, the marks in paper one has never been so commanding or so inspiring or so appreciable. Mr. Deepak, don't you think so?
No, I totally agree with you, sir. Because the relevance of, I would say, social issues, that is not only restricted to GS paper 1, but also GS 2, as well as essay. Because if you have seen from the last few years, that every year, around minimum one, and there are, I would say, around 2 questions that are asked in essay. And essay carries a huge weightage in the mains examination. In fact, I would say that is the deciding factor, the social issues. A question on gender issues, because that is I would say, a persistent issue on violence against women. So these are the issues that are always running. So contemporary social issues, don't think that is only relevant for GS1, GS2, or only 1 or 2 questions will be asked from this. It is relevant for your GS1, GS2. If you are appearing, if you have sociology as your optional, then also it is relevant. And also for your interview as well as essay. So these, as Saroj sir rightly said, that these topics are some dwarf topics which carries a huge amount of weightage in the examination.
Invariably, ever since this pattern of examination was introduced, 6 question, so definitely for last 3-4 years, and even before that, I think Mr. Deepak can be the right judge to say, I think 4-5 questions were definitely there.
They were asked.
So our intention here is those people who are going to write the men's examination, how they can take advantage of Mr. Deepak, who is well versed with this section, and he has he's carrying experience of almost 6-7 years mentoring the people on this particular section of the syllabus. So Deepak sir, please tell me, the silent features of Indian society and diversity of India, it is often ignored part of the preparation among students. But again, I'll be using the word ki every year UPSC asks this question. Don't you think these 75 marks make a huge difference to the candidates? Please tell them, how succinctly they can prepare for this section. The syllabus is in front of you. Please guide them one by one in a particular section, what they should do in the next 4, 5, or maybe 7 to 10 days. Please.
From the mains part.
From the men's perspective, because they'll definitely be desperate what to do, what not to do, how they can maximize their marks. And I think with your experience, we can definitely contribute a little bit in their repertory of marks. If they increase their marks even by 10-15 marks, I think that will be a huge momentum to their result.
As you said, that 75 marks is different. I would say even if we take about the
Yeah,
talk
that-
about a 10% of 75.
Deepak sir, certainly you are very much right, but that will branch out later on. As of now, let us restrict ourselves to the Indian society part, and then we'll say how in essay, how in paper 4, how in paper 2, where there is a social justice part.
Okay.
So overall, though, it is making again a total up to 50 marks of contribution. So it's one paper in itself. But how it will be helping them in a different way, that we'll talk later on. As of now, first of all, let us tell them if it is silent features of Indian society, which area they should focus. And if you can quote relevant source also, that would be too good on your part.
Look, salient features of the society, it's a very wide topic. For start, I would say the time for going for the basics and going for the standard books, that is, I would say, passing. Because only few months are left. So for start, I would say that stick to your basics. That is, आपका जो newspapers आते हैं, The Hindu, Indian Express, these are the basic sources. Refer them, see the current developments. Because इस पे अगर जो भी क्वेश्चन आएगा, salient features of Indian society, they don't want a repetitive answer जो आपने NCERT से कोट करा होगा, वो आपके UPSC के रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं होगी. हमेशा मैं आंसर्स में बोलता हूँ कि फॉलो 3C अप्रोच, दैट इज कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव, कंसाइज एंड कंटेम्प्रेरी. सो उसमें ये एक डायनामिक पार्ट है. तो कंटेम्प्रेरी आपका कहाँ से आता है? न्यूज़पेपर से आता है. उसमें हिंदू न्यूज़पेपर, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस में जो भी आपके आर्टिकल्स आते हैं वो काफ़ी रेलेवेंट है आपके, तो उनको रिवाइज करिए. लास्ट 1.5 years के द क्वेश्चंस, द टॉपिक्स विच आर इन न्यूज़ फ्रॉम लास्ट 1.5 years, दैट यू शुड रीड. एंड इम्पॉर्टेंटली, अगर कोई भी सोशल इश्यूज का फैक्ट आता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आपका खाद्य पंचायत का हो गया, ऑनर किलिंग का टॉपिक हो गया, जैसे आपका कुछ साल पहले मेंस में क्वेश्चन आया था, स्पेसिफिकली यूपीएससी आस्क्ड अ क्वेश्चन, UPSC asked a question specifically on what are the steps taken by the government of India, state governments as well as judiciary. तो ये डायरेक्टली उन्होंने UPSC ने क्वेश्चन में पूछा था. तो इसके अंदर आपको करंट डायमेंशंस तो रेफर करनी होगी, जो रीसेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जजमेंट्स थी, हाई कोर्ट्स की जजमेंट थी, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने जो स्टेप्स लिए हैं, ये कहाँ से आते हैं, व्हाट आर द सोर्सेज फॉर दैट. सो अगेन आई वुड से दैट न्यूज़पेपर इज द बेस्ट सोर्स. इफ यू हैव अ कलेक्शन ऑफ योर आर्टिकल्स, आपके जो भी रेलेवेंट सोर्सेज अगर आपने पढ़े हुए हैं तो उनको रेफर करिए. साथ में कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट्स का जो नोट है, अगेन मी एंड माई टीम मेंबर्स अतुल सर की गाइडेंस में, वी विल बी प्रोवाइडिंग यू द स्टडी मटेरियल, अ जस्ट ऑफ ऑल द कंटेम्प्रेरी इश्यूज जो भी आपके रेलेवेंट आपके डेवलपमेंट्स हुई हैं, तो उसके कंटेक्स्ट में आपको पूरा सपोर्ट प्रोवाइड करा जाएगा. एंड ऑल्सो वी आर ऑल्सो एक्टिव ऑन वेरियस सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म्स. तो अगर आपको कोई भी डाउट आते हैं, इफ यू आर राइटिंग फॉर दिस ईयर मीन्स, तो हम सून यहाँ पे आंसर राइटिंग प्रोग्राम भी आपका लॉन्च करेंगे. तो उसके अंदर आपके जो भी डाउट्स हैं, सो यू कैन ऑलवेज आस्क अस. एक तो ये है, क्योंकि इस टाइम पे अगर मैं आपको कहूँगा कि गो फॉर द बेसिक्स, स्टैंडर्ड बुक्स है, मटेरियल है, उसकी शॉर्टेज नहीं है. और स्मार्ट स्ट्रैटेजी की इस टाइम पे अगर हम बात करें, उसके रिक्वायरमेंट है, तो अगेन इट्स टाइम टू सीक द गाइडेंस ऑफ एक्सपर्ट्स. अपने सीनियर से बात करिए. यू कैन ऑलवेज रीच आउट टू अस एनी टाइम. आई थिंक दैट इज द बेस्ट वे टू गो फॉर द मेंस एग्जामिनेशन. अतुल सर, आपके कुछ व्यूज इन दिस?
वेल, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हम लोग जब बात कर रहे हैं प्रिपरेशन प्लान के लिए 2022 के लिए, हमने इस मेंस के लिए छोटा सा एक ये जो इमीडिएट रिक्वायरमेंट्स है स्टूडेंट्स की, उस चीज़ को एड्रेस करते हुए मेंस के बारे में एक बात किया है. इसको आई थिंक हम लोग सेकेंड हाफ में रख लेते हैं अपनी इस टॉक में. वील स्टार्ट विद क्वेरीज. जो एक आई एम जस्ट लुकिंग एट स्क्रीन एंड somebody is asking, sir, I have seen the list of faculties on your website. In what way you start and steer the program that ensures success? Well, for success, it's all about in what way you prepare, and when it comes to role of guidance, we are there to provide you the best of faculties available. And जो program है, ये program since हम लोग 2022 की बात कर रहे हैं, जिसमें हमारे सामने बहुत लिमिटेड टाइम है. अगर हम अब मिड नवंबर में बात कर रहे हैं और जून में एग्ज़ाम है, जून फर्स्ट वीक में. सो वी हैव प्रैक्टिकली 6.5 months जहां हम लोग प्रीलिम्स के लिए तैयार कर सकते हैं. और इस तरह से हमने इसको प्रोग्राम को बनाया है जहां पे विल हैव मैराथन क्लासेस. आई थिंक 5 से 5.5-6 घंटे की क्लासेस एक दिन में, 2 सब्जेक्ट्स एक दिन में कवर करते हुए. सो I'll ask Saroj sir to say little about this. In what way we'll move ahead and किस तरह से हमारी फैकल्टीज़ इस सिलेबस को प्रीलिम्स और मेंस दोनों चीज़ों को कवर करते हुए आपके लिए आगे बढ़ेंगे हम लोग।
Thank you, sir. See, as you said, we have the finest grains of faculty with us. So thank you for that. And in fact, we have made lot of effort to integrated one. If we do that, we save a lot of time. If we bifurcate it, unnecessarily we'll incur a lot of time spending on, I mean, there could be repetitions, lot of repetitions of the syllabus. So better we avoid that. It will be an integrated way of preparation. So in the next, let me tell you, although wholesome preparation will be completed in almost 800 hours, but of course, if people are in hurry, we can complete it in maybe 500 to 550 hours also, giving you the best of everything. And if you are a good listener or good, I mean, understand the length and breadth of the preparation, what we are guiding you, I think you can prepare with that much of duration also. So that's one thing. The next question is, does prelims give any indication for the coming main examination? I just wish to know, can we manage in 70-75 days between prelims and mains? It's Shiraz. 100% you can manage in 70 to 75 days because mains preparation doesn't start all alone. Regarding indication of mains examination, I will say it's not correlated to that an extent. Of course, if the setter of the examination paper is same, maybe you can know little bit about their mindset. I mean, you can read their psychology, which kind of questions they can set. But then mains is more compartmentalized. You have syllabus. Based on syllabus, you can see what is doing the rounds, which kind of topics are doing the rounds, and accordingly you can prepare. So to keep it in nutshell, pre and mains is not highly correlated. In 70-75 days, yes, you can do it. You just have to figure out what are the important areas for the upcoming mains. How it can be done, I'll throw a little bit of light on that. See the previous year questions, see 2, 3, 4, 5 years questions, what they have been asking. Chances are, those things which have been asked last year that may not be asked, but what have been what have been asked or what had been asked 3 years back, there are chances of being repeated. So 2, 3, 4 years back topic, you must be extra cautious, because I can tell you, since we started with social issues, so that topic is coming back and forth in my mind. If you see, there are so many topics which was asked in, let's say, 2016, it has been repeated in 19, 17, 20, 18, 21. Maybe what was asked in 2019 could be repeated in 22. So take a clue from there and start your preparation. There's another candidate who has completed her BTech from Amity and wanted a strategy for preparation. Can you help? Definitely we can help you if you join us, because talking about preparation in few minutes or few hours, that will not suffice. But if you have a specific question, I think we can guide you much better. So coming back to the mains part, because we must mention, or rather take care of the people who are appearing in the mains. So Deepak sir, last year they had asked question on caste and all in Indian society, cultural diversity, this and that. Again, caste is making lot of noise in the media. Don't you think it could be this time also it could be a probable topic?
देखिए, कास्ट नेवर, देयर इज अ सेइंग कि कास्ट नेवर गोज अवे. तो कास्ट एक रेलेवेंट इशू है. ये GS1 GS2 किसी में भी आपसे पूछा जा सकता है. सो कास्ट इज ऑलवेज, एंड अगेन UPSC एज आई ऑलवेज से कि बड़ी चालू है, दे आर वेरी स्मार्ट प्लेयर्स. तो डायरेक्टली दे माइट नॉट आस्क अ क्वेश्चन ऑन कास्ट सिस्टम, बट इनडायरेक्टली आई फील दे कैन आस्क अ क्वेश्चन. तो कास्ट को तो वहाँ पे आपको इंक्लूड करना ही है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल,
मैं थोड़ा सा इंटरप्ट करूंगा आपको. मेरा सेंस कह रहा है, चूंकि कास्ट भी है, कल्चरल मतलब सोसाइटी की पार्ट, पॉपुलेशन भी है, सेंसस भी होने वाला है, तो कहीं ना कहीं इस चीजों को, तीनों चीजों को घुमा करके एक अच्छा क्वेश्चन बन सकता है.
के ऊपर, डेमोग्राफी के ऊपर एक बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन बन सकता है. इसमें काफी सारे एडिटोरियल आए हैं. अब इसमें अगर आप कास्ट का क्वेश्चन आएंगे तो नॉर्मली आपकी क्या प्रिपरेशन रहेगी? आप ये करेंगे कि चलिए बेसिक सोर्सेज उठा लेते हैं, बट अगेन वहाँ पे कंटेम्प्रेरी एस्पेक्ट क्या रहा था, जो रिसेंट कमेटी है आपकी, जो ओबीसी के ऊपर जो कमेटी आई हुई है आपके ऊपर, उसके ऊपर वहाँ पे अगर स्टूडेंट नहीं लिखेंगे तो वहाँ पे आपका आंसर बन ही नहीं पाएगा। मैं अभी पिछले साल के जैसे क्वेश्चंस की ही बात कर रहा था, तो यूपीएससी के अगर मेंस के एग्जाम देखें, सोशल इश्यूज की बात कर रहे थे सर, और सर तो कह रहे थे कि हो सकता है 7-10 क्वेश्चन, मतलब 7-10 नंबर का ही बने, 45 मार्क्स के टोटल क्वेश्चन आए पेपर 1 में। जनरल हाँ,
पेपर 1 में
नहीं अच्छा हाँ,
पेपर 1 में 75
अच्छा। तो ये आपके 3 क्वेश्चन तो डायरेक्ट आए ही हैं यहाँ पे, जिसमें से एक क्वेश्चन है अब आपका GS2 में, वैसे एजुकेशन का कहा जाता है, पर GS1 में लास्ट ईयर सर एक डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चन आया था, हाउ हैव डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स इन इंडिया कंट्रीब्यूटेड टू द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ एजुकेशन सिस्टम इन द कंट्री, इलैबोरेट योर आंसर। अब यहाँ पे तो वैसे क्वेश्चन आ गया सिर्फ वहाँ पे कि डिजिटल इनिशिएटिव्स के कंटेक्स्ट में है, तो अगर हम इसका कंटेक्स्ट देखें तो यानी कि पिछले साल जैसे क्वेश्चन आया था तो वो कोरोना वायरस के कंटेक्स्ट में था, तो पहले आपको उसका बैकग्राउंड समझाना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। अब यहाँ पे कभी किसी ने प्रेडिक्ट भी नहीं करा था कि कोरोना वायरस जैसी चीज होगी। उसके बैकग्राउंड में पीएम ई विद्या एक कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्कीम लॉन्च करी गई थी, फिर वहाँ पे आपकी डिस्टेंस लर्निंग का आ गया, ठीक है। और डिस्टेंस लर्निंग है, जैसे हम भी अभी आप लोगों से इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं इस टाइम पे, तो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन है एक तरीके से, ठीक है। हम ऑनलाइन क्लासेस भी आपकी लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, ऑफलाइन क्लासेस भी हमने लॉन्च करी हुई, तो ये सब सारी चीजें चल रही है। तो इसी कंटेक्स्ट में आपको ये आंसर लिखना है आपको, तो यही आपको अगेन मैं जो बोलता रहता हूँ 3C अप्रोच है, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव, कंसाइज येट कंटेम्प्रेरी। तो वहाँ पे आपको करंट एस्पेक्ट आपको देना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे। और अगर सर आपकी परमिशन से मैं अर्चा कपूर मैं आपको बोलना चाहता हूँ कि आपका क्वेश्चन आया था कि आपने अभी बीटेक करी है, ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे आपने इस बार सक्सेस रेट देखा ही होगा कि इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट्स का काफी
40% के आसपास
रिजल्ट रहा ही है। नंबर ऑफ कैंडिडेट्स जो अपीयर हो रहे हैं और जो नंबर ऑफ कैंडिडेट जिनका सक्सेस रेट ज्यादा है, तो वो इंजीनियर्स का ज्यादा आ रहा है, क्योंकि एक रेलेवेंट एक आता ही है कि व्हाट आफ्टर इंजीनियरिंग, हर कोई इंजीनियरिंग पे तो रुकता नहीं है, या तो MBA या फिर IS पे आता ही है।
जरूर।
तो अगर आपको लगता है कि अगर आपके टेक्निकल जो सब्जेक्ट्स हैं आपके, उस पर आपकी कमांड बहुत ज़्यादा हाई है, क्योंकि अगर आपके मैथ्स हो गए, फिजिक्स हो गए, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग हो गए, इस टाइप के सब्जेक्ट्स हो गए, तो इसमें एक चीज़ रहती है, अगर आपका, वैसे मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूँ कि आपका बैकग्राउंड क्या है, लाइक आपने MIT में किस चीज़ से इंजीनियरिंग करी है आपने? आपकी जो ब्रांच रही है उसमें कंप्यूटर साइंस, जैसे भी आपकी जो ब्रांच रही हो आपने, तो नॉर्मली मैं आपको सजेस्ट करूंगा अगर आपकी कोर ब्रांच है, अगर कोर ब्रांच है तो उसमें आप देखिए आपकी कमांड अच्छी है, अगर अच्छी है और बिल्कुल श्योर है कि अच्छी है, ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ आपके इंजीनियरिंग में अच्छे नंबर आ गए, क्योंकि इन टेक्निकल सब्जेक्ट्स में एक रहता है, या तो आप 250 प्लस क्रॉस करते हैं या तो आपके 100 से नीचे ही आते हैं, यहाँ पे पास और फेल होता है, और उसमें ही डिसाइडिंग फैक्टर होता है,
नो पार्शियल मार्किंग एज सच है।
बिल्कुल। तो बेटर सेफ ऑप्शन ये रहेगी कि अगर आप टेक्निकल एस्पेक्ट्स में नहीं जाना चाहते तो ह्यूमैनिटीज पे जाइए, सोशियोलॉजी हो गया, फिलोसफी हो गया, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी है, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का हम कोर्स भी एक लॉन्च कर रहे हैं, तो ये सारे जो कोर्सेज हैं ये एक रेलेवेंट रहेंगे, आई वुड से ये इजी होते हैं, इसमें ज़्यादा टाइम भी नहीं लगता, क्योंकि हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी, इन सब्जेक्ट्स में एक इशू ये रहता है कि जिन लोगों ने ग्रेजुएशन करी है इनमें, उनके पास थोड़ी सी बेनिफिट, एक एडवांटेज रहती है, क्योंकि उन्होंने काफ़ी टाइम से कवरेज करी होती है। पर जो सोशल इश्यूज हो गए, आपके जो फिलोसफी हो गए, ये छोटे सब्जेक्ट्स हैं, इनको पढ़ने में भी आसानी रहती है और जल्दी स्कोरिंग भी एक रहता है। एंथ्रोपोलॉजी का सर एक सेशन करना हम एक शुरू कर रहे हैं,
क्यों नहीं, बच्चों का डिमांड होगा तो हम डेफिनेटली करेंगे,
क्योंकि इस साल काफ़ी रिजल्ट्स निकले हैं एंथ्रोपोलॉजी से।
जी, तो डेफिनेटली इन लोगों की डिमांड रहेगी तो हम करेंगे। वैसे सोशियोलॉजी अपने पास है ही, पॉलिटिकल साइंस भी है, ज्योग्राफी भी है, जो मोर और सो जितने भी पॉपुलर सोशल साइंस के सब्जेक्ट हैं वो हैं ही, उस पर हम करेंगे धीरे धीरे करके, जैसा ऐसा लोगों का रिक्वायरमेंट आएगा। अभी तो मुझे रेलिवेंस ज़्यादा मेंस की लग रही थी, बच्चे यदि प्रीलिम्स की बात पूछना चाहते हैं तो वी आर ऑलरेडी देयर। तो मूविंग फर्दर, दीपक सर, मुझे कभी कभी ऐसा भी लगता है कि एक सेक्शन जैसे मान लीजिए इंडियन सोसाइटी वाला है, कम्युनलिज्म, रीजनलिज्म, एक और क्या है उसके साथ, कम्युनलिज्म, रीजनलिज्म एंड वन मोर टॉपिक सेक्युलरिज्म। कितना अच्छा है कि 3 में से एक पूछेगा ही,
बिल्कुल सर।
और फिर भी लोग इसको ढंग से नहीं प्रिपेयर करते हैं और क्वेश्चन मतलब अच्छा मार्क्स नहीं लाते हैं, क्योंकि मैं समझता हूँ कि हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी और सोशल इशूज़ कहीं ना कहीं, हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी तो मोर और लेस अटेनेबल रहता है, यहाँ पे थोड़ी सब्जेक्टिविटी ज़्यादा है। आपको नहीं लगता है कि इसको इग्नोर कर रहे हैं इसलिए लोगों का मार्क्स होवर कर रहा है 100-110 के आसपास, अदरवाइज देयर आर फुल प्रोबेबिलिटी ऑफ क्रॉसिंग 120-130 आल्सो।
बिल्कुल सर।
तो थोड़ा सा और इन पे ये कीजिए कि इस बार कम्युनलिज्म, सेकुलरिज्म, रीजनलिज्म में क्या आएगा, योर टेक।
कम्युनलिज्म, रीजनलिज्म, इन सब पे क्या आएगा?
इस बार क्या है सर? लास्ट ईयर तो आई डोंट रिमेम्बर क्या था, आई थिंक लास्ट ईयर वाज रीजनलिज्म।
देखिए, प्रेडिक्ट करना तो मुश्किल ही रहता है यूपीएससी का, क्योंकि क्योंकि एटलीस्ट अगर हम ज़्यादा दूर ना जाएं तो हम अगर प्रीलिम्स से ही अगर एक उसका एनालिसिस देखें कि यूपीएससी के दिमाग में
पे था,
हाँ।
तो इस साल क्या?
देखिए, रीजनलिज्म पे तो एक है, ऐसा नहीं। पहली बात तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि पिछले साल रीजनलिज्म पे पूछा है, पर इसकी ये गारंटी नहीं है कि इस साल नहीं पूछ सकती।
एग्जैक्टली,
क्योंकि वो कहते हैं ना कि हम जितना सोचते हैं यूपीएससी वहां से उससे आगे सोचना शुरू करता है।
अवश्य।
काफी बार होता है कि
किसी ने कहा एक बार एलएससी में, अब सच है या झूठ आई डोंट नो बिकॉज आई हैव नेवर बीन टू एलएससी, बट किसी ने कहा कि एलएससी में एग्जामिनेशन चल रहा था, तो क्या किए उन्होंने, लास्ट ईयर की एग्जामिनेशन को रिपीट कर दिया। लोग ये सोच रहे थे कि लास्ट ईयर का रिपीट क्यों होगा, तो कर दिया। एक साल किया, फिर दूसरे साल भी कर दिया गया सेम वे। तो दे ऑल्सो वांट टू टेक यू बाय सरप्राइज। और जहाँ तक मैं समझता हूँ, एक अच्छा प्रिपरेशन वो है जब आप भी कुछ प्रेडिक्ट कर सकें कि व्हाट दिस टाइम इन द एग्जामिनेशन। इफ यू आर एबल टू डू इट फ्रेंड्स, यू आर द रियल person who are, I mean, who is preparing for the examination. But on the lighter side, sir, I was telling you to take your pick. Still, I'll persist. What is your pick?
आई थिंक कम्युनलिज्म पे एक क्वेश्चन बनता है।
Yes.
क्योंकि वहाँ पे लग रहा होगा कि
बहुत सारे इश्यूज हुए।
इस बार बहुत सारे इश्यूज चल ही रहे हैं, एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली डायरेक्टली दे माइट नॉट आस्क, बट अगेन इस तरीके से क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं कि कोरोना वायरस के बैकग्राउंड में जो लॉकडाउन हुआ, फिर वहाँ पे जो इश्यूज हुए मीडिया के सेंस से, गवर्नमेंट के इश्यूज से, काफ़ी लोगों ने कोरोना वायरस को कैपिटलाइज करने के लिए इशू करा। तो इस कंटेक्स्ट में दे कैन आस्क अ क्वेश्चन दैट हाउ पेंडेमिक्स आर फ्यूलिंग कम्युनल आइडियोलॉजी, कम्युनलिस्ट। इस तरीके से वो इनडायरेक्टली एक क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं। सो देयर आर मेनी एग्जांपल्स। तो उसके कंटेक्स्ट में क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं। नहीं, आई डोंट वोट फॉर कम्युनलिज्म। आई थिंक नो वन शुड वोट फॉर कम्युनलिज्म। Better to
Friends, don't take it that way. We are
better to take back your words. Or better to
don't take it that way. We are. I mean, I
we
was
all are
telling.
very secular. We are a secular
I was
state.
telling ki a question on communalism. That is more probable.
But one more suggestion is, friends, some people do have like very extremist ideology. Some are pro-government, or some are against government, or some are against particular. So while writing your answer, be careful with your words. वहाँ पे ये नहीं है कि भावनाओं में बह गए एंड आप लिखे जा रहे हैं वहाँ पे किसी एक के। अगेन मेक श्योर टू हैव अ बैलेंस व्यू। दोनों साइड्स के वहाँ पे आप आंसर लिखिए, इस तरीके से बेटर रहेगा आपके। वहाँ पे दोनों का पर्सपेक्टिव क्या है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई एम नॉट कोटिंग एनी पर्टिकुलर गवर्नमेंट, ये हो सकता है किसी भी पर्टिकुलर स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के, या फिर कोई इंटरनेशनल आपके ग्लोबल सिनेरियो में भी हो। तो लुक एट द फैक्टर्स कि गवर्नमेंट ने क्या क्या, अगर उनके लूपहोल्स रहे हैं, क्या क्या स्टेप्स लिए हैं, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ माइनॉरिटी अफेयर्स ने क्या क्या इनिशिएटिव्स लिए हैं, तो ये भी आपको लिखने चाहिए। जस्ट डोंट, क्योंकि ये भी आप इमेजिन करिए कि आपका जो इवैल्यूएटर है, ही और शी ऑल्सो माइट हैव सम बायस। अगर हो सकता है कि उनको आपका आंसर पसंद नहीं आया, उनको लगा कि आपका आंसर बायस लगे, सो शी कैन गिव यू बायस नंबर, एंड वहाँ पे हो सकता है कि तो वहाँ पे ये कहते हैं ना, सोशियोलॉजी में कहते हैं कि वी ऑल हैव सर्टेन बायसेस। बचपन से ही हमारे अंदर इनकलकेट करी जा रही है। कितना भी आप उसको सर इग्नोर करने की कोशिश करेंगे, यू कांट एलिमिनेट इट प्रॉपर्ली। दैट इज एन आइडियल सिचुएशन। एज मैक्स वेबर से, आइडियल टाइप्स एग्जिस्ट, डोंट एग्जिस्ट इन रियलिटी। तो जिस तरीके से कहा है, तो सर
Deepak sir will take a little bit break. Let's move to the beginners. So before giving the this dice to Atul sir, I'd like to answer two questions which have been asked. One is, how has been prelims 21? Do you think UPSC has changed its mind about current affairs? प्रज्ञा जी, UPSC अपना mind कभी change नहीं करेगी current affairs के प्रति. They will always be asking the topics relevant with current affairs, and current affairs is like icing on the cake. So icing will always go on. You can never ignore current affairs. There are myriad of questions which are, directly correlated with the current affairs. So never ignore it. And in case you ignore, you might suffer in mains examination. So to answer your question, it has always been relevant and it will remain relevant forever. Next, answer writing is now considered must, but without a good reading plan, how can one master answer writing? Vidisha, you are perfectly all right. perfectly all right. How one can answer, I mean, master answer writing without preparation? Nobody can. So, before writing a good answer, you must read the context, content, your syllabus, without any hesitation and with a proper plan. Then only you can write a better answer. And the way the things are going on, ki men's writing karo, answer writing karo. See, answer writing is an art. You have to hone up this art. And honing can always be with more and more practice. If you practice, definitely you'll improve. There is no need of even a mentor also. What I'll suggest you a simple way. You write your answer today on a particular topic. After 5 days, you write the answer for the same question. You'll say a difference of at least 20%. If at all you have been reading something, if not, then it could be, I mean, as good as you had written last time or even bad, I mean, less relevant. I mean, it might carry less relevance with regard to the previous answer. So keep on reading. Answer writing is definitely an art. You can hone up your skills. Don't be mad after joining the men's test series before you are fully prepared, because until unless you are fully prepared, you can't write a good answer. So here is a good moment for us once again. Our main faculty for ethics, integrity and aptitude, Mr. Sanjeev Kumar is with us. We thought, as I was saying, we will be preparing you for the men's examination also. So I welcome Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. Sir, please come. It's an opportunity to address the people who are going to write the men's examination this year. So here is Mr. Sanjeev Kumar. Sir, tell few words, then we'll move back to the paper. I mean, how you can take up this, I mean, how...
he has entered the right time just now. This Visha Chawla, she's talked about paper 4 only, and this paper is scoring, and how can we prepare? So I think we can get some insights from Sanjeev sir about this.
You'll hear it from the Sanjeev sir only, but as we have been talking quite often, this is one topic which will segregate you from others. You have the full chance of getting more than 140 marks if you are under the right mentorship, the way sir suggests you to do, the way he'll steer his classes. But if this topic is ignored, you may have the chances of getting less than 75 also. So let's hear from Sanjeev sir only what he has to say.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's morning itself. So good morning to all of you. So as sir told you that I am Sanjeev Kumar, I am a faculty, I am a teacher of ethics, GS paper 4. So GS paper 4, as you know, is basically about our understanding of right and wrong, what is right and what is wrong. And as sir also told you, that GS paper 4, ethics can perhaps make the most important difference in your success in the UPSC exam. Because it is a paper where people have this feeling that they know a lot. When they look at the question paper of UPSC paper, then it may appear to that you are aware of that. You are aware of that, you know about many of the things, because ethics is all about what we already know in our life. For example, a few years ago, there was a question that what is the meaning of happiness for you? Happiness, everybody knows about what is the meaning of happiness. We all want to be happy in our lives. Or many such things, what is the meaning of the term compassion, for example, or empathy, for example. So these are the things that we often use in our day-to-day life, commitment, trust, truthfulness. So we often use these terms in our day-to-day life also. So it gives an impression to many people that ethics is something that we all know. And that is why people do not focus so much on ethics paper, because they have this feeling, this impression in their mind, which I will say a misimpression, that they know about ethics, they have lots of knowledge about. Everybody knows something or the other about ethics. So it may give an impression to us that is a very simple paper, which it is a very easy paper. But ethics can be one problematic thing also, in the sense that there are many students who score very good marks, who write very good in ethics. They are very happy with their answers and all, but still they get very good marks. As sir told you, that in ethics people can get even 35, 40, 50 marks also. I have seen some of them. But if you understand ethics properly, that how you can say right and wrong should be applied in the life of a civil servant, in the life of a bureaucrat, for example, how can you understand the problem of administration, problem of life from a understanding or from point of view of a civil service, bureaucracy, then in ethics we can get very high marks also. 150 is very easy. Many of my students have got 150 marks in ethics, 150, 155, even 160. No other paper can give you that much marks. That's why we often say that other papers are more like equalizers. Some people get good marks in history, maybe not so good in polity. Somebody gets good in polity, but not so much in history. But ethics is one paper where you can make a difference. In other paper, more or less equal marks will be there. But in ethics, the real difference can be made here. That people can get 90 also and 150 also. And the 50 marks difference that ethics can bring about can be perhaps the most important difference that we can think of in the UPSC exam. A few marks can make you, or you can say, make you an IAS. So ethics is a very important topic in that case, which people often take not so seriously. That is the importance of ethics that we can say in the UPSC exam. It can bring about real difference in your preparation or in your marks. So that is the whole idea of the ethics. That's the importance of ethics here. Then, what more do you think should we talk? Syllabus?
Sir, often people have been facing problem, sir, how to prepare for case studies, this and that. So a little bit of your take on how to prepare for case studies, because my understanding is, as you have been quite often saying, so it's not between you and me. Tell the students how they should keep cognizance of case studies. I mean, to my understanding, if you have been reading the newspaper regularly, the decision taken by the Supreme Court, High Court, good kind of bureaucrats handling the different social problems, if one keep notice of these things, I think they can definitely write a better answer in case of case study. So, sir, what is your take? Am I right or wrong? Or you can throw a better light on this?
Case study is, as we all know, case study is simply a fancy word for the problems that people face in their life. So we all face many different problems in our life, sometimes problems in our personal life, sometimes problems in our academic life, maybe when we are studying in a classroom, for example, or sometimes we face problems in our professional life. That once you become a civil servant, then you will face many problems that only civil servants can face. Others will not be even aware of what are these problems. So in a different professional job, different you can say profession, we often face many different types of problems. So case study are just about those problems, that how do you look at that problem, how do you analyze that problem. So in case study part of ethics is perhaps the most scoring part of ethics. Here you can get very good marks. So in case study, there are two important things that has to be kept in mind. First of all, whenever a question is asked, for example, whenever a case study is there, first of all, you have to analyze that question, that case study, that what exactly that problem is. What is the root of that problem? What is the main ethical issues involved in that problem? So one major part of your case study should be your understanding of the problem, your perspective of the problem. Because, you know, whenever we face some problems in our life, different people have a different way of looking at the same problem. So how do you look at the problem? How do you understand your problem? How do you analyze that problem? And in that case, your knowledge of ethics will come into play, that how much you know about the basic ideas of ethics, like human rights or liberty, or can say the human dignity, for example, or many different principles of ethics. Consent, professional ethics, for example. So they are, or law, importance of law, importance of the international relationships and all those things. So these things also play a very important role in our understanding of the question. So first part of the case study will be that how do you analyze the question. That should be a main part. We will see that also when we discuss the case studies in our classes and all. So analysis of the problem is one. And second part of the case study will be that what will be your decision in that case. Case study is mainly about decision making. That when you are in a difficult situation, then what to do and what not to do. So on the basis of that analysis that you will do about the ethical issues involved in the particular case, what are the ethical idea, ethical issues, ethical controversies in that particular case. So once you can understand those ethical controversies, then it will be much easier for you to take a decision. So ultimate thing that has a final thing that has to be done in case study is to arrive at a final decision, that in this situation, if I find myself in this particular situation, how would I react? So the two parts will be there. First of all, analysis of the question that will check your understanding of ethical issues, and then on the basis of that understanding, how to take a decision, how to do something, what to do in that case. In that case, two important things further will be there. Instead of just in place of writing what you will do, you will have to write something that you will not do also. What are the wrong? In ethics, we often say that more than being right, you have to understand what is wrong that you should never do. So in that case studies also, very often you have to talk about that what are the wrong actions which I will not do. And then after finally you have to see that what is the right action, what is the right choice, and how would you do that. So what makes something wrong, some choice that you have in the case study that you have to analyze, right? And what makes some choice that you are finally going to take, what makes it right. So case study will be about that. Analysis of a question, understanding of what is not to be done, and finally what is to be done and why so. So all of these things combined together should form the answer of your case study. And if you write in this manner, the case study is perhaps the most scoring part of the whole UPSC exam. In this part, almost 120 marks will be there in our case study normally. So out of 120, if you write it appropriately, very easily you can score 70, 80 marks in that case. People have scored that much also. Because in that case, a more concrete thing is there. In part 1 of the, you can say UPSC GS paper 4, sometimes question will be very abstract. So in that abstract thing, marks may be slightly less. But case study is more concrete. You have to write exact, okay, this is the problem and that is the solution. It is like mathematics. So if you understand the steps that you have to follow, if you understand the ideas that you have to that you have to use in that understanding of these things and all, then it's very easy to score good marks in case study in that case. Is the most important part of your exam perhaps. Maximum marks you can get into that. 30, 40 marks easily you can score over the other students in case study. So that is the importance of case study in the UPSC exam.
Sir, as it is said, when it comes to effort and reward, paper 4 is the best it delivers.
Yes.
So another thing is nowadays when people plan for GS scoring approximately 500 marks, so if that kind of plan is there, in what way one should start preparation for paper 4 so that the target is achieved and they are able to get good marks that really helps them in cracking this examination?
So important thing about ethics, as you said again, as Sir said just now, in ethics one important thing is that in ethics minimum amount of study can give you maximum marks. Ethics does not require to study a lot. In other paper you have to study a lot. So many books will be required. In ethics we don't have to study a lot. Only thing is that you have to understand a lot, think a bit. So in ethics minimum amount of study can give you maximum marks. So in this case, this is another interesting part of ethics paper, that input is less and output will be more. Only thing that you need to have a good command over the language and understanding of the core ideas of ethics. So in order to score good marks in ethics, main thing that is required, that don't read much. Many books are there in the market, and well, in the philosophy and psychology, you don't have to read many books in that case. Only thing is that you have some core ideas are there. In ethics, on an average, I believe that there are around 100 or so different central concepts are there. Some of these concepts are from philosophy, like you can say the dignity, human rights, liberty, consent, virtue, vice, responsibility, etc., etc., happiness. So they are the philosophical concepts. So you have to understand what these concepts are and how these concepts can be used, how these ideas can be used in order to understand, you can say, the problems of life, how to use these things in order to make a good life. So that is the first important philosophical part. Then after, there will be the psychological part also has some, similar central ideas, self-awareness, self-control, empathy, compassion, or trust, commitment, etc. It's a leadership, etc., etc. Many other things also like persuasion or social influence, obedience. So these are some of the important concepts that you have to understand. So if you understand these concepts well, then and you are able to apply these concepts in the practical problems of your life. You can use some examples of these concepts. Then that is the only thing that is required for ethics. Understand the core ideas first of all, and see that how these core ideas can be used by us in order to, well, analyze the problems of life, or the things that make our life a good life or bad life. So that is all about these things. So a little of understanding, a lot of thinking, and keeping your mind open about the things that is happening in the society. Whenever you read the newspapers, for example, always try to see that, yes, this news or this event that has happened in the society is related to that particular concept that we know in ethics. This is the question of empathy. This is the question of, you can say, this is the issue of leadership. That is the issue of, say, the liberty. That's the issue of, you can say, the dignity of human being, human rights. So if you are able to understand that whatever is happening in the society from the point of view of the ethical questions, ethical issues that we have to discuss, we have to understand, then that is the only thing that is required. Apart from that, you need to have good command over the language. You should know how to write answer. That will need some practice that, of course, you have to do for that.
We have a question. Sir, question can be asked this year related to ethical dilemma arising out of COVID-19. If yes, how to approach?
Can question asked this year related to ethical dilemmas arising out of COVID-19? Yes, there can be some question about ethical dilemmas arising out of COVID, because COVID has created lots of problems. Many dilemma you can think of. The first important dilemma was in ethics we often talk about one of the major issue of controversy in ethics, that when there is a conflict between individual rights and the common good. What is the rights of an individual and what is the good of the society? Suppose, for example, I am a person, I am an individual, and I want to go out in public and want to do something. Now, to what extent the government can restrict my movement in order to ensure that more and more people in the society will be safer? For example, the lockdown. Now, what are the ethical issues involved in the lockdown? Because on the one hand, lockdown hampers our liberty, that reduces our liberty, it restricts our liberty. Under lockdown, I cannot engage in any economic activity, I cannot go to the market, I cannot go to a park or some other place which is my right otherwise. But under lockdown, government is putting restriction on that on the name of common good, that if I go out, then I may put some other people in the society at risk, at threat. So that is one of the biggest ethical issue that comes up in this case. If I am safe, for example, if I am taking all the precaution about COVID, then also can the government restrict my movement on the road? That is where the question is. Because there are some people who are very careful, there are some people who are not very careful. So in this case, to what extent the government, because everywhere in the world when the government has put a restriction on that, on the, you can say, people's movement or all these things, then it is actually a violation of or restriction of individual rights, individual liberty. But that is justified on the ground of that we are making society safer. That is one important issue that comes into play. Second important ethical issue that can be, that ethical dilemma that will come into this case is the question of vaccination, for example. Now, government is making that everybody should take vaccination. Now, suppose, for example, I think that, okay, vaccination, I don't want to take vaccination. It's my personal choice that I don't want to take a medicine for myself. I want to keep myself safe just by following all the precautions of COVID, for example. Or if I don't want to keep myself safe, then is it right for the government to force me to take vaccine or not? Is that not the violation of my personal right or not? So, to what extent government can try to persuade me to take a vaccine, and to what extent government can try to can force me to take a vaccine? So if there is a persuasion, then that may be better, that may be justified. But if under persuasion, if some people are not still taking vaccine, then can they be forced to do that? Can we force people to do, and can we put restrictions on unvaccinated people? So if you put, suppose somebody is unvaccinated, can we restrict that person, the person does not have the vaccine certificate, for example? So can this person be barred from entering into airport, for example, even if he or she has a valid, can say, ticket, for example? Can that person be barred into a railway station or in some public place, shopping mall, for example? Is that not the violation of right of that individual? So there are some important questions, that to what extent government has a right or society has a right to force people to go back for vaccination. In America, in India, it's not a big problem politically and all, but in America, it's a big political question. Anti-vaxxers are already there. Yeah, they say that is my right not to take vaccine. Who is the government to force me to take a vaccine? Vaccine taking or not should be our personal choice. So this is another very, very important ethical issue that comes into the case of COVID again. Further issue is that if the government puts restrictions on my activity, for example, the people who are working in a labor and all, if they are not allowed to work, to what extent it is the responsibility of the government to provide them the sustenance, food, for example, or other sources of sustenance and all. To what extent government has a responsibility to provide the medical support to the people who are suffering from COVID and who cannot afford that? That is another important issue that comes into play. Another very important issue also that can we think of ethical dilemma, that COVID has put too much pressure on the medical infrastructure of the country. Now, what about those people who are not suffering from COVID, but they have some other medical complications? They have suffered a lot during this period. Now, in order to keep the society safer from COVID, can we put those people who have some other non-COVID disease, non-COVID problem, can we make them to suffer for that? Can we make hospital or can say medical infrastructure still available for those people? That is another dilemma. So to bring a middle path between all these things, to find a solution of that thing is a big ethical issue that the government and the society is trying to solve in that case. So these are some of the direct questions that dilemma that comes from the this COVID situation in that case. That is about this question. Hmm?
So we are lucky to have Sanjeev sir who could throw a very good light on the entire paper 4 and taking case, I'll say once more I'll say that it was a case study of COVID only. And the question was very good on ethical dilemma. To put it further, we have taken up some questions on unethical practices also, which sir was talking about, and that we had published in Pratyogta Darpan November issue. If you are interested, you can find a good number of questions there. And we are again coming up in the month of December issue also with lot many tests on paper 1 and paper 2, and we'll be coming further on different papers, that is paper 3 and paper 4 in the further issues also. So it is just for your information. And to some of the words of Sanjeev sir, please don't read too much. In ethics, there is always a wrong answer, and there are many right answers. Am I right or wrong, sir?
Bilkul, definitely. Don't
So-
read too much, that will confuse you.
कंफ्यूज यू. गलत आंसर क्या है आप भी जानते हैं, आपको स्कूल में पढ़ाया गया है, घर में कहा गया है ऐसे मत करो वैसे मत करो, तो जो चीज़ ऐसा कहा गया है वो गलत है. सही बहुत तरह से हो सकते हैं. यस, डिग्री ऑफ whether it is right or too much right or much more right.
To what extent it is right?
To what extent it is right, yes, the correct word would be that. To what extent it is right, it all depends upon the your experience of reading or observing the things the way it has been. The real source, as always we say to the aspirants, for you the real source is Indian Constitution. Take the values, aptitude, other related words, Sanjeev, liberty, compassion, all these things sir was talking about. Equality. These all are very well, very much the part of Indian Constitution. From there you can take a clue or two and then put it in your answers. And then we have certain things, everybody comes from different kind of religion. There are different stories that we have been hearing from the childhood. You can take a clue from there as well. So that was the another part I was saying. And when you are in the classroom, then Sanjeev sir would be covering a lot many moral philosophers and their teachings that will add a lot to your preparation, because then you will understand which kind of concept, which kind of philosophers was talking about, how that was maybe countered by another philosophers, what could be the right, and then at that time you will be finding the dilemma key, what is right, what is wrong. For that we are here, we will be clearing your dilemmas. So there is no further question on paper 4, else we would have taken the opportunity to engage Sanjeev sir further. But anyway, I would like to go to Gayatri. Can you suggest the proper way to approach essay paper, and can you clear about the perfect mindset and what exactly UPSC wants from candidates regarding answers, interview skills, etc. Gayatri, coming first to your essay paper, what you will be taught in different papers of general studies, you can incorporate those things in your paper. That will definitely make a good essay answer of yours. Essay, you have to discuss every aspect of a particular topic. Don't choose a particular stance, otherwise that will make it a debate. So to answer or to highlight the different aspects of essay paper, you need to read more. Of course, somebody had asked whether the relevance of current affairs has been lost or not. No, it has not been lost, or it has not lost. You can always incorporate those things in your essay paper, along with whatever fundamental things you have studied in those polity, history, geography, economy. All these things will be handy for you. More about essay paper, I'll just tell you, we have put a sample video of essay on our website. Kindly go there. Mr. Achal Khanna, who is our faculty for essay, has dealt with the how to approach your essay paper. Else, if you want a further a particular session on essay paper, we can definitely have it sometimes later. Regarding what UPSC wants from candidates regarding writing answers, interview skills, they want you to write an answer which is coherent with the questions that have been asked. You don't have to write something which comes to your mind. As sir was telling you, first analyze the question paper. see what is the questions. Once you understand what is questions, definitely you'll write the answers for those things. So make it very simple. If people are making you and cry about answer writing, I simply think one thing: if you are able to bifurcate, multifurcate, or break up the different issues being asked in the question and answer them one by one, you are the best answer writer. And I must not disappoint our another candidate, Archa, who had asked question from Atul sir, ki you prefer to say candidates ki prepare in the reverse order, interview, mains, and then prelims. Yes, Archa, you are very much right, and even sir is very much right, ki this is the way one should prepare. I think Atul Kapoor sir would be the better person to throw a light on that. Sir, how do you say one should prepare in the reverse way? Please come, sir.
Thank you, sir. In fact, when I talk about this, this is the requirement of this examination, and if you understand what UPSC's intent is, probably it becomes easy to handle this big examination. We look at this examination compartment wise, like first prelims, then mains, then interview. But as this examination, this complete exam plan is there, and the timeline of notification, then prelims, then mains, and then interview. If you look at all these things and taking into consideration, most of the serious candidates start preparation at least 1 year before prelims examination. And when you start, till the time you are not into that mold where you are able to understand what UPSC is looking for, then it becomes very difficult to prepare for this. You have to handle such a vast syllabus, and when you are preparing for this examination, you have to have a plan in mind. And when you are having a clear-cut target in front of you, see, it used to be a time when civil service exam used to be a 5-year plan. But now, most of the candidates, they don't even think of taking, appearing 5-6 times. They have the mind. I have met a lot of people, lot of toppers even, where they have a very clear mind that they'll prepare for 2 years or 3 years. They'll just test the waters. If they are able to make it, then it's okay. Otherwise, they'll proceed with some other career option available. And as in last 1 decade, after 2011, this exam plan has completely changed. A lot of engineers, a lot of professional higher degree candidates, they've come in this arena. I think आपको ये चीज़ समझनी ज़रूरी है कि आपकी ज़रूरत क्या है, और उस ज़रूरत में आप इंटरव्यू के लिए, बिकॉज मेंटली जब तक आप किसी चीज़ के लिए तैयार नहीं हैं, यू कैन नॉट टेक अप दिस काइंड ऑफ सीरियस प्रिपरेशन. एंड आफ्टर दैट व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट मेंस, मेंस की बात इसलिए कर रहा हूँ बिकॉज आप देखेंगे प्रीलिम्स और मेंस के सिलेबस में देयर आर लॉट मेनी कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स जो कॉमन हैं. हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी, पॉलिटी, इकोनॉमी, current affairs, हर prelims, mains, and even interview also. So when we talk about preparing for civil services with mains exam orientation, your mindset is different. You start reading a lot. You have a base. You clear your concept with some basic books like NCERT books. You need to have clarity about the topics you are reading, and then after that, when as you advance, you read lot many other books. So and NCERT books, this clarity of basics, that helps you in understanding even current affairs. When you read newspaper and you know what news you are reading, and if you are able to relate that news with the knowledge you have, you will have a better understanding. And when you are preparing for mains, then your base is made, and after that, उस foundation के ऊपर आप जब prelims की बात करते हैं, अगर जून में examination है, आप अपनी तैयारी पिछले जब शुरू की है आपने या अभी शुरू कर रहे हैं, तो आप अगले 2-3-4 महीने तक मेंस ओरिएंटेड आपकी तैयारी रहती है, आप करनी चाहिए। और प्रीलिम्स से पहले आपका ऑप्शनल सब्जेक्ट साथ में रेडी होना चाहिए। और प्रीलिम्स से 3-4 महीने पहले आप यू चेंज योर गियर्स, आप प्रीलिम्स के लिए तैयारी शुरू कीजिए। एंड क्योंकि आपके पास नॉलेज बेस है, आपके पास एक सॉलिड फाउंडेशन है आपकी तैयारी के लिए, तो उसको, बिकॉज प्रीलिम्स इज ऑल अबाउट योर मेमोरी एंड रिकॉल एंड किस तरह से आप इंफॉर्मेशन को क्विकली यूज़ कर सकते हैं। तो यहाँ पे जो आपकी तैयारी है उसके साथ प्रैक्टिस आपको ज़्यादा बेनिफिट करती है। जो एरियाज़ कुछ हैं, जैसे पेपर 2 की भी चीज़ें मैं बात करूँगा यहाँ पे, कि आप पूरी तैयारी में पेपर 2 के लिए कहीं ना कहीं जहाँ आपको लगता है कि आपको टाइम मिलता है, यू कैन ऑलवेज लुक एट पेपर 2 रिक्वायरमेंट्स। आप उन सब चीज़ों के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं जहाँ एक लगता है कि आपको मोनोटनी आ रही है आपके प्रिपरेशन के अंदर। तो वहाँ पे आप कभी भी अपने रीजनिंग, मैथमेटिकल स्किल्स, लैंग्वेज, जो कॉम्प्रिहेंशन वगैरह चीज़ें हैं, उन सब चीज़ों पे ध्यान दे सकते हैं। और जब आप प्रीलिम्स से पहले लास्ट 3 मंथ्स में आप अगर अपने लिए जो भी टारगेट रख रहे हैं, उसमें आप पेपर 1 प्लस पेपर 2 दोनों को सीरियसली तैयारी करते हैं, एंड विद लॉट ऑफ प्रैक्टिस एंड आप जो एक सॉर्ट ऑफ अपडेटिंग योर नॉलेज या रिवीजन, या कुछ चीज़ें जो लगता है आपको कि प्रीलिम्स फैक्ट्स हैं, जैसे कुछ चीज़ें प्रीलिम्स स्पेसिफिक हैं, उन सब चीज़ों को लास्ट के 3 मंथ्स में आप टेकअप करते हैं, तो इट वुड बी वेरी इजी टू प्लान योर एंडेवर। So it's all about planning, and planning in reverse order will always help you. Good, sir.
So I'll conclude what sir had said. The question was, the sir has answered in the format of timeline and all. I'd like to answer Archa in a different way. If it is reverse order interview, mains and prelims, how one should do it? See, UPSC is looking for a bureaucrat or a civil servant or a person who can serve the society. There are different myriad of problems, how they can solve it. So in interview, through personal interaction, they try to assess whether you are suitable for that or not. Of course, whether it is very much comprehensive or not, nobody knows. There are ifs and buts about this also, and different process of examination also. So I will not get into that. But yes, if they want to assess whether you are suitable for a particular, or rather for a job in civil services or not, that is how you have to target. So to make yourself eligible or suitable for your civil services, you must strive what to do. So there are different ways. Sanjeev sir was talking about. See, there is a certain intention of introducing this paper 4 in this examination, that a person should possess these kind of qualities. So if you think you possess those qualities, perfectly fine. If not, you make effort to possess those qualities. So if you make yourself a person suitable for examination, your first work is done, and that is the ultimate job. Get reverse, 1 gear back, come to mains examination. Let me tell you, you cannot possess these things until unless you have a sound background on the different components of the syllabus. So in the pursuit of attaining that sort of personality trait, let me tell you, you will definitely be possessing lot of competence on the different aspects of mains examination. Now you have become a good player. You have become a what journalists say, you are a textbook player. So you have become a textbook player of a particular game. Now, having attained that quality, definitely if you are a player, you must know the nuances, rules, regulations of this game. And these nuances comes through the prelims examination. Because in preliminary examination, you are tested on a different things, and moment you are given the options. See, I won't say ki it is a 100 questions in preliminary. I'll say it is 400 questions, because you are given 4 optionals. So you must be aware about the facts of those options also. So until unless that quality is there, there are full chances of getting it wrong. So possess that quality. To possess that quality, work hard. To work hard, if you work hard and you attain the momentum, definitely you will be knowing much better about the rules of the games also. So that is how I like to sum it up. regarding Atharv's last question, ki what questions are probable for essay, Atharv, UPSC will always ask the questions upon different problems that is plaguing the country, or the different virtues one should possess, or the if I say problem, it could be political, it could be sociological, it could be social, it could be technological, economical. So try to focus on those areas. And I think we had a great session today. I hope we have been able to answer your questions. We will come up with a further session wherein we'll try to focus on paper 2, apart from dealing with the questions of the beginners. And then another day we'll do it on paper 3, sir.
Yes.
So I thank all of you on behalf of AQ by S. A final word from our director, Mr. Atul Kapoor.
Well, it was just an introduction of our approach towards preparation, and how the faculty members are going to take up this thing. It's only start which matters. So you have to start your preparation, and maybe sometimes, though, as I said, people probably plans preparation 1 year before preliminary examination, but if you are starting right now, this is the time when you can do it. No doubt you will have to put in a little more labor, but this is doable. In this period, you can always prepare for 2022, and you can make difference. This is a big step in your life when you are thinking of even making a decision to appear in civil service examination is a big decision, and this is a big life event for you. So prepare effectively, prepare diligently, and make your first attempt the final attempt. May the success be yours. All the best. Thank you.